Hello, I'm Andrea Carlos. This is iPulse Live for April 26, 2024.
And I'm Swanson Gibson Jr. In national news, pro-Palestinian protests continue at major U.S. universities today. Students are protesting against Israeli attacks on Gaza. Here's Allison Wallace in our newsroom for an update. Ali?
Some protests have led to chaos and even some arrests, as students from both small colleges and Ivy League universities have been protesting by setting up tents on campus, and they refuse to take them down until their demands have been made. Due to these protests, colleges have had to make some changes, and one of them is switching online. Another impact of these protests is the College of Southern University of California has had to cancel their in-person graduation ceremony. Unfortunately, we do not think that the war in Gaza is going to end anytime soon. And I'm in the newsroom, Allison Wallace, reporting for iPulse News. Back to you, Swanson.
And now in Lynn sports. The Lynn women's tennis team has had a record-breaking season so far, finishing first in the region. The team travels to Berman Tennis Center in Lakeland, Florida this weekend to play the SSC semifinals, where they face Embry-Riddle and Tampa.
Lynn Women's Tennis has had a record-breaking season so far. The team are traveling to Berman Tennis Center in Lakeland, Florida this upcoming weekend to play in the SEC semifinals. They will face Embry-Riddle, number 4, and Tampa, number 5.
My name is Greta Schieroni. I'm a senior at Lynn University. The season has been great. I think we have been doing a good job between all of us, all the girls. We're pretty close to each other, each of us. So I think it's been going pretty good so far. I think there's more work ethic, and as I said, we are more close to each other. We motivate each other, and we really want to fight for it. So this is something that makes a big difference from the last year. I think it's more about the spirit of the school, what makes Lynn different from the other schools, the fact that it's such a nice environment where to be in, and you really enjoy when you go on the court. And sometimes in other schools you don't want to go to practice. Here you kind of want to enjoy your time with your teammates in and off the court. I would say key to success are hardworking, being coachable, and adaptation. This weekend we're gonna play conference in Lakeland, which is kind of post-season after our regular season, where we ended up by being number 1 in the nation, number 1 in the region in our conference, SSC, which is great. It gives us, a good point ahead. We feel pretty confident for this weekend. Of course, a little bit nervous because we know we are trying to keep our spot, but we are excited for sure, and we can't wait to play our semifinals on Saturday. We're gonna play with Tampa on Saturday. We know we lost the last time, which has been the only match we lost in the regular season, but we had some troubles in the lineup and whatever. It was a very tough day for us, so we're gonna try to be positive and make some changes about it as attitude and as players on the court as well, and I think this is gonna make the difference in case. But the most important thing is to enjoy the time on the court. Perfect.
I'm Eleanor Bruce for iPulse.
When it comes to your future, you should visit Lynn's Career and Alumni Connections. If it's for internships or even jobs, they can be really helpful every year. They host a career fair, and for each college, our reporter Chelsea Morin went to the College of Communication and Design Fair.
Today I'm here at the College of Communications Design Career Fair of 2024. Students have the opportunity to seek internships and jobs for their futures.
This is Lynn's third year hosting a career fair where 13 companies attended. Some of those companies were Brandstar, and2 Media Productions, and even WPBF 25 News. I had the chance to speak to a couple of those employers.
CareerSource is the local workforce board in Palm Beach County, and Lynn University does a wonderful job every year with job fairs. We're always excited to talk with students to provide direction and guidance on their next step, even before they graduate, with internships, part-time jobs. We love to see them get full-time jobs, There's plenty of opportunities in Palm Beach County. Today we probably have 6,000 or 7,000 open jobs, so there's no reason they shouldn't get employed once they graduate.
We love to do the Lynn Career Fair. This is our second year here actually, and we just love to get to share with students about the opportunities that we have with Chick-fil-A. A lot of times people think about Chick-fil-A as just working behind the counter, taking orders, but we really have so many career opportunities available, so we love to come and share that with the students here.
Not only can students have the chance to seek jobs and opportunities, but to network and have the chance to practice talking to employers and getting firsthand experience. This taught students to dress professional, prepare their resumes, and even have the chance to get a professional photo to put on their LinkedIns. Career Connections works hard to put this event together for students, always giving them the best opportunities.
So tell me about you putting this whole event together.
Yeah, so we have our annual spring career fairs this week. It's an amazing opportunity for students. And alum come, they come on each side. So whether you're an alum recruiting or an alum coming seeking for jobs, we do this every year and it's an amazing opportunity for our students to come and get hired.
Many students attended this year's career fair, and I had the opportunity to speak with 2 students.
Well, it benefits me because I am looking for an internship for the summer, and I think this is a really good place to expose me to different jobs that I might get, so it's a really good opportunity.
Well, the career fair this year has given me many benefits when it comes to interacting with different companies, organizations here in the area of South Florida especially, and it's good to get a practice of networking with future employers and with different types of organizations.
Another great career fair for all the Lynn students. I'm Chelsea Morin with iPulse.
Boca Raton residents have a dedicated area at Spanish River Park that spans 300 yards of beach where they can bring their dogs to roam. To have access to the beach, dog owners pay for a permit and are allowed to bring their pets Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Delaney Smith reports.
Today we are in Bark Beach in Boca Raton, Florida, where beachgoers and puppy lovers find this place paradise. Let's go check it out and meet some furry friends. Come on.
This is Dave. He is a rescue. He's assorted. He's a boxer, beagle, Akita. What else is he? He's all sorts of stuff. Does a little fetching. He does a little socializing. Visits everyone. Does a lot of running with the other dogs. Gets his exercise.
Before the beach opened in 2012, dog owners in the community rallied together in hopes to gain a space where their dogs could run, swim, and play without a leash.
Well, it was a long fight to get this beach, and it didn't open until 2012. But there were many people that kept going to the council meetings to try to fight for a dog beach. So they were just saying, hey, we deserve a dog beach. We promise we'll pick up after our dogs.
Opening this dog beach became a winning scenario for everyone involved as it brought more visitors to the beach and created a positive impact for the dogs.
Oh my gosh, if we didn't have the dog beach to come to, they wouldn't get this kind of exercise and swim. I have a pool, but nothing like the ocean swimming, and they just have a ball. The dogs all get along so well.
Yeah, he still plays. He's 9, and because he plays and I take him routinely, he's still very playful at 9 years old.
He is sometimes in a slump with his mood, and he will brighten up really, really well after he goes outside, especially to the beach.
I live here because this beach is here. If this beach was not here, I'd probably sell my house.
We have to keep the dog beach. That means the world to so many people.
The passion for this beach is evident amongst the beachgoers that bring their dogs here. Thank you, Boca Raton, for giving us such a nice space where dogs can roam free and get great exercise. I'm Delaney Smith for iPulse TV News.
A cancer diagnosis can impact someone's life in many negative ways, but for Grace Callwood, the battle against a disease led her to a future she could not imagine. She funded the We Cancer Serve movement, a nonprofit organization at the age of 8 dedicated to improving the lives of children with cancer. She recently came to talk to the Watson Institute at Lynn University. Visha Shukla reports.
Watson Institute at Lynn University welcomes Grace Callwood, who founded her own nonprofit organization, We Can Serve Movement, at the age of 8.
and I wanted to give back in a way, but also because I wanted to be sure that other children facing vulnerable situations that were not their fault were reassured that essentially they deserve happiness too, and I wanted to be able to give them a smile, even if it was only for a short while.
Her organization helps to provide essentials to foster kids diagnosed with cancer when they have no one else to turn to.
As I got older, I was able to narrow down the fact that I wanted to make long-lasting, sustainable change on a governmental level, which is why public policy is now a real passion of mine. I think one of the things that brings me the most joy is really just a matter of the happiness that is included in everyone's experience when it comes to service, whether it be the people that we are donating to are happy to receive the donation or the act of kindness. It's my happiness when, performing the act of kindness, or it's even the people that have come together, whether it be board members or volunteers who have all come together to, put together a sensational kit or a food bag or anything of the sort. It's really just a very positive experience across the board.
Being both a founder and a student, we were curious about the extracurriculars that she was involved with on her campus.
Still very active in a lot of different clubs and organizations in high school. I'm still very passionate about my academics. I did ballet and jazz, and I was always interested in tap as well.
Since she's not a part of her e-board anymore, we asked her what goals would she like to see them achieve with or without her.
I think my 3 most prominent goals for We Can Serve would be, first off, to really harp on our sustainability and making sure that our projects are long-lasting. That was a big part of our succession planning when I was thinking towards what would happen for the future of We Can Serve when I was to step out of the chairwoman role. And so making sure that our projects can live on without some sort of daily upkeep, but can continue to serve the community. And secondly, I think that expansion of We Can Serve would be a really great aspect. I remember when I was younger, there was, a bunch of different people talking of maybe doing We Can Serve chapters in different places across the country, but it was just so intimidating, and I really wanted to strengthen the board in Maryland first. And so expansion of We Can Serve to some extent would be absolutely incredible. But really, all in all, in a perfect reality, We Can Serve would be put out of business because there wouldn't be any children that go hungry or that are facing homelessness or that are in the foster care system.
One of the most fascinating things about We Can Serve movement is that it has an all-youth board policy. It is a very interesting decision to take, and we asked Grace how her experience has been like with it.
I was very keen on having an all-youth board of advisors between the ages of 8 and 18 because I really admire the way young people think. I think that young people are very solution-driven and they're very swift, and oftentimes our innocence of not exactly knowing or being aware of all of the potential issues helps us to not be downtrodden by all of the potential issues. There aren't as many what-ifs, and it's just really dealing with what is right in front of us, what we know we have access to, and then using that to solve the problem.
Vishwa Shukla reports with iPulse News.
Singer-songwriter Taylor Swift released her 11th album, The Torture Poet Departments, on April 19th. Not only did Taylor release an album with 16 songs, she also surprised fans at 2 a.m. by releasing an additional 11 songs, including 4 bonus tracks. The day after the album was released, it reached over 243.4 million on-demand audio streams. Here's my colleague, Andrea Carlos.
Are you ready for it? Singer-songwriter Taylor Swift is stepping into a new era. She had just released her brand new album, The Tortured Poets Department. The Tortured Poet Department features 16 songs on the album, with 11 added songs, plus 4 bonus tracks. The first song to become a single off the album is Fortnite, which is featuring singer Post Malone. Taylor Swift has made a post on how excited she is to have Post Malone on this album and how she has been such a fan of his work. Fans are excited about the album and share their reaction.
Stressed, nervous, because all the songs sound like they're either kind of gonna be sad or maybe upbeat, and I'm just nervous, and yeah.
So 12 o'clock a.m. her first album comes out, with all the songs. Some of them are depressed, not really. You don't have to cry to them. Then afterwards you listen to them and you're like, okay, I can go to bed now. No. 2 a.m. she decides it's a good time to come out with other parts of a song that are a little bit more depressing.
This being Taylor Swift's 11th album has broken records compared to her album Midnights. You can now order or buy in stores the Tortured Poet Department. I am Andrea Carlos for iPulse.
Families are so important to all of us. Emery Johnson, a 7-year-old girl from Alabama, started a lemonade stand for a good cause. She was trying to help pay for a headstone for her mother who died unexpectedly in March. With help from her community, she raised nearly $10,000. Lisette Gillen reports.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
7-year-old Emery Johnson is spending her days after school like any other kid, selling lemonade at a homemade stand in her neighborhood. But she's not saving up for the latest clothes or toys. She set out to raise money from the stand for her mother's headstone. Emery's mother, Carly Bordner, passed away unexpectedly in March. Emery's grandmother, Jennifer, says Emery came up with the idea all on her own.
Emery's so special if you haven't figured it out. She's the kid that will, if this lady over here's hurt, she'll go take something to help her.
With or without us. And when a social media post spread about her cause, members of the community flocked to Emery's stand to help. Recently, neighbors, firefighters, nurses, and deputies stopped by for a cup at only $1 each, but many gave a bit extra as a tip for her hard work.
I've just been amazed and cried happy tears.
When asked where she inherited her work ethic, Emery said, "My mama." Emery says she never expected her fundraiser to go this far. I didn't know that just by making a little lemonade would bring this many people. Jennifer says monument companies have stepped forward to donate headstones for her daughter. The nearly $10,000 raised so far for Emery will now go into her account for future expenses. She says with each cup comes a drop of healing.
Like she knows that Mommy's okay now and she's gonna be okay and everybody cares and loves her, and all these people showing all this and trying to help is actually helping heal the whole family.
Emery says her mom would be proud. Yeah, she would say that I was doing good.
Emery, what do you think about all these firefighters coming out here?
It's unbelievable. I'm Lisette Guillen for iPulse.
Now a report on Generation SOS, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping young adults make life-saving choices around drug abuse and mental health struggles. In 2023, the organization reached 25,000 students in 48 public and private schools and colleges. Recently, the organization visited Lynn to help our young adult students. Here again, Lisette Gillen.
On April 2nd, 2024, Generation SOS came to Lynn University. The organization brought in a guest speaker that informed students, faculty, and staff about substance abuse and other mental health struggles. The great event took place at Elaine's. Generation SOS is an organization that was founded in 2015 by Robin Aviv. Their goal is for teenagers to come together to listen to young adults share their experiences with substance abuse.
Well, Generation SOS is a peer-to-peer organization in which we have young adults speak to other young adults. So we find it's much more effective to have somebody close in age talk about their journey through drugs and alcohol, what led them to it. Mostly it's the feelings of inadequacy or uncomfortability, and it's pretty much the same for everybody. It starts with feelings through their problem with it, and then their recovery from it, and how they then developed better coping skills. So it's really young adults to young adults.
At the event, students, faculty, and staff listened to the guest speaker, Serena, open up about her struggles with substance abuse and mental health. She wants to motivate people, especially young students, to get help when they need it the most.
I think my story can help save students' lives just by being open and honest. I think in my experience when I was in college, there was lack of honesty and openness. There was a lot of secrecy and a lot of just running around from one chaotic situation to the next. And that was kind of the norm, or it felt like for me in college. I think it's really important to open the conversation to say, like, you don't have to be living that way. It's possible to, be happy, joyous, and free. It's not a necessity to be constantly hungover and, uncomfortable in college.
In addition to speaking about substance abuse, the discussion of fentanyl was brought about. According to the CDC, over 150 people every day die from overdoses related to the synthetic opioid, and according to Generation SOS, it is the war that America ignores.
It's so prevalent because it affects pretty much everybody, that we know. It's either ourselves personally, or it could be somebody that we know in our family or friends. I think that people are afraid to talk about it. I mean, sadly, I've known young people who've died, and sadly, one of them who died recently of a fentanyl overdose. His father said that he'd had a heart attack. People think that it's something bad and there's something wrong and they should be embarrassed. And what we aim to do is just make stigma a thing of the past.
Although fentanyl is tasteless and invisible, there is a way to prevent death.
There's test strips that are provided, I think, at like CVS and everything. I think also being ready with Narcan and understanding how to use Narcan is really important, especially if you are in groups of people that are using it. It's almost impossible to detect unless you test your drugs first.
Generation SOS has the goal of reaching every student and every school in the United States. However, they believe they have already achieved that goal.
Well, it already is. It's a question of them reaching out to us because we have we have sort of boots on the ground, kind of all over the country. But we also have opportunities through our video library and podcast to provide these types of talks to schools whenever they want them. And everything we do is for free. So we do hope that every school in America will take us up on this offer.
The organization has left its mark at Lynn, as attendees were able to take away a valuable message.
I think for me, it was really, again, coming back to the speaker's story, and just it reinforced kind of just the individuality that exists within recovery and the process of getting to recovery, and what it takes for someone to realize that, hey, the path I'm on isn't where I need to be, and then I need to start making gentle transitions away from that. Anytime you get to hear someone's individual story about what that journey, what that process looked like for them, I think there's value there. So that for me was probably the most enjoyable piece.
If you or a loved one is struggling with substance abuse or other mental health struggles, please contact 561-237-7237. I'm Lisette Guillen for iPulse.
There is a new television series called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. It alleges abuse at the children's television network, Nickelodeon, from the 1990s to the 2000s. Showrunner Dan Snyder was one of the primary focuses of the documentary. Both former child stars and adult co-workers recounted tales of alleged racism, sexism, harassment, and verbal abuse at his hands. My co-anchor Swanson Gibson Jr. reports.
In the early 90s, Nickelodeon was kid everything. And you better hope that your house had cable.
Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, analyzes the unlawful behavior behind Nickelodeon's most popular shows during the 90s and 2000s. This documentary premiered on March 17, 2024 on the Investigation Discovery Channel. The 5 episodes shed light on the toxic and abusive work environment catalyzed by ex-Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider. From sexual abuse to racism and misogyny, former cast members and employees detailed the traumatic events they experienced on set.
Working for Dan was like being in an abusive relationship. How safe can any kids be in that environment?
There would be even bigger problems down the line with actual pedophiles on set. These are 3 predators who worked at Nickelodeon, all in a short amount of time.
Notably, Drake Bell, a star of The Amanda Show and Drake and Josh, spoke out for the first time about being manipulated by a sexual abuser and former dialogue coach, Brian Peck.
I think Brian got a sense that my dad was on the watch. And so he started to really drive a wedge between my dad and me. He started talking about, how my dad's stealing my money. Nobody likes that my dad's on set. He's a real problem. So he just started making me believe that he was horrible for my career. I wasn't going to be able to move forward with him in it. And coming from someone like Brian, I was believing it because he's been in this business for so long and he must know more than us. Also because I was spending so much time more so around him than I was really my dad.
Nickelodeon stated, though we cannot corroborate or negate allegations of behaviors from productions decades ago, Nickelodeon as a matter of policy investigates all formal complaints as part of our commitment to fostering a safe and professional workplace environment free of harassment or other kinds of inappropriate conduct. Our highest priorities are the well-being and best interests not just of our employees, cast, and crew, but of all children, and we have adopted numerous safeguards over the years to help ensure we are living up to our own high standards and the expectations of our audience. Nick added, now that Drake Bell has disclosed his identity as the plaintiff in the 2004 case, we are dismayed and saddened to learn of the trauma he has endured, and we commend and support the strength required to come forward. You can stream all of the documentary's episodes on Max. I'm Swanson Gibson Jr. for iPulse. And that's iPulse Live for April 26, 2024. Before we part, I would like to take a moment to say goodbye to our seniors, including my co-anchor Andrea Carlos, director Chelsea Morin, and reporters Nicole Zayek and Gretchen Lemke-Peña. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication in the studio. Sadly, this is the last broadcast of our spring semester. I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
And I'm Andrea Carlos. Have a good summer vacation. In the meantime, you can find us at iPulseNews.com and iPulse on the Apple News website. See you next fall.